Hid for a few weeks before it came to me. I had to choose my heart, heal and get free. She said life's easy, pain comes with living. Surround myself with everything God's given. It's time to change my routine, create a new scene that feels like an unreachable dream.
Drop that demo.
Good morning, everyone. It is a warm Friday, but rainy as well. You are watching Mentally. How are you? I am your host, Nina Locke, here to discuss all things mental healing. We, of course, are praying for our military families and hoping for an end to the war. I know anxiety is high currently, and I recommend staying informed while also limiting multiple streams of news coverage. Stay connected with loved ones and channeling your energy into something productive, right? Some productive activities for your life. Hopefully today we can make you smile or at least pull you into a different conversation for the next 45 minutes. I'm here with Dr. Clarence Glenn, Assistant Dean for the School of Law at UIC, with Adam Cohen, Neurology Technologist, and Jonathan Johnson, OSP Engineer. These wonderful men are here to discuss men's current state of mental health in the era of social media, how social media is affecting men's health. First, I want to say thank you guys for coming in. Thanks for joining.
You're welcome.
It's your pleasure.
It's my pleasure.
Yes.
Thank you so much. And look at all those titles. Wow. So we're not just talking to anybody. We're talking to some high esteemed men. I like this.
A lot of loan debt, yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Very much, yeah.
But y'all gotta really show out because it is Women's History Month. So it's odd that I'm starting this month off talking to a group of men, but hopefully this.
But nobody loves women like us.
Exactly.
So,
That's what it is.
Okay.
I mean, yeah.
All right. Well, we know social media has had an unhealthy effect on many, but today I would like to focus on what it is doing to men. Many compare their success to individuals they don't know online. Is this also an issue that men are struggling with day in and day out, where they compare themselves?
Yes.
How so?
Social media, it gives you almost like a bar, like what you have to be and follow in terms of what society expects from you. Mm-hmm. And it's pretty much giving you a false narrative of life, right? Leading you astray. Facebook, whether it be X, Insta, people are personifying a life that, glorifies money and women and all this stuff, and it usually isn't the case. You got some people that front for whatever, and people see that and kind of want to mirror their life to that.
Yeah, I think we don't look for affirmation at home anymore. You know what I mean? Like, now we really don't care what our parents say or our friends and family, because we assume, right or wrong, that those people are going to back us no matter what. So I think that this generation is taken to using the internet as a litmus test for their success. You know what I mean? So they'll turn to, okay, I got this new car. Let me see what other kind of cars people are posting online. And is my car as nice as this other person's car? I think the example I gave one of our pre-show meetings is, from my job perspective, I have students who will compare themselves to their classmates and think like, oh, I'm struggling because so-and-so went to the beach last Thursday and they didn't go to the beach. And as I always tell those students, you have no idea what they did to get to that beach. Yep. You know what I mean? Like, they could be studying really well, or they could be failing and being like, you know what, I'm just going to go ahead and cash out now. I'm just going to the beach. But that's what we look for that kind of affirmation.
Yeah, I would have to concur with Dr. Glenn.
No, concur.
We get a pseudo comfort in social media, and you could be talking to a bot for all you know. But to take the opinions of others that aren't in your immediate peer group, well, you can find somebody who likes what you like. It's the World Wide Web.
Right.
And so if you have a nonsensical ideology, you can find a group of people with that same nonsensical ideology. And so that's the danger of grouping yourself into social media.
Yeah.
So as men, when you guys scroll through, let's say, Instagram, TikTok, what's the first thing that men sometimes compare their life to?
I mean, I think it usually goes to I think it usually goes to the dating side. So.
Everybody
Yeah.
started smiling.
Yes.
Well, I mean, listen, you don't know what our algorithms look like.
Oh, yeah.
Usually, I got word first. What's the first thing you see? Oh, God.
Well,
Yeah, what's the first thing
well,
you see?
let's go ahead and skip past
Yeah, we
that.
need a cut, Alex.
So, typically, my algorithm is all over the place. But if I'm making an assumption and a guess, it's usually finances first, right? That's the biggest thing that I see being pushed, because you have a lot of content creators that will push doing this in order to set yourself up for this type of success and money, knowing that it's a process, right? You just can't say, hey, if you do this today, you'll get $1,000 back in return immediately, right? There's always something leads up to it. So there's always that where people really push that narrative, like, almost like quick money, right? I think finances would be the biggest thing that I see. And then, like I said, not even dating. It's just how they look, right? So getting your body together, wearing the best clothes or whatever. Like that's what I see coming across my timeline, because I'm usually on YouTube. I'm not on Insta because I don't want to leave the trail.
Well, unfortunately, we're all leaving trails.
Yeah.
No face, no
The
case.
trail has been let. Yeah. Wow. I'll let Adam go first.
Yeah, I would have to say yes. Finances first, because you're not an alpha male unless you're making $1 million, and
Yeah, that's the
you
biggest
can't
thing.
take this chick out unless you have $100,000 to get her hair done and buy her a car and a house before y'all go out on the first date. So I would say finances. Trying to keep up with the Joneses is on 1,000 online. So between finances and then relationship wise, everybody wants to keep up with relationship goals. Not myself in particular, but but online they'll tell you this is the model and this is that.
Right,
But
right.
he could be very well beating her in between the washing machine
Listen,
after
I
they
mean,
get offline.
if we're
You
gonna
don't
be
know.
honest-
We have a safe show here at Mentally
No,
How Are You,
no,
but we're
we're not
just
saying
using
the
examples.
advocate.
I
for
know,
it,
I
but
know.
An example,
Funny-
an example.
But you don't know what that
You don't-
person is going through.
That's
at
the thing,
home.
right? Statistically speaking,
Right.
somebody on Facebook is doing crack, right? Just being honest.
Oh man,
I'm being honest.
no, that's
Okay.
But nobody's putting that out there. And I think
Posting
that's, when you ask the question, after you see these things, how does it make people feel? Again, you're inflated with this false sense of failure because you're assuming everybody's doing so great. Because nobody is, rarely, people are out here publishing the failures they went through in life, right?
Absolutely.
It's not, hey, I went to this job interview and I just didn't have it today.
Yeah.
Like nobody's putting that out there, right? It's, oh, I'm driving this fancy car. I'm having this really nice lunch at this 5-star restaurant. Oh, the bill costs this much. Again, and those may be the only time they ever go to that restaurant, a restaurant of that caliber for the entire year. But because you see that, you assume like, oh, they're just doing that on a random Thursday, and I'm eating, something I made at home.
Right.
I'm clearly not doing as well as I should be doing, and then that's the pressure that people put on themselves.
And again, it's perception. That's highlights. That they very well may have overdrafted their account to have that meal at that nice restaurant.
For sure.
Or the lights might be off tomorrow.
Yeah.
Because they had that nice
or they
meal.
sleeping on the air mattress.
That's right.
And
Listen,
so-
we
yeah,
say it all the
inflated.
time in sports, right? Like, if you just look at highlight film, everybody a Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
True.
You can look at some random dude who hoops, at Simeon and things like
Right.
that. Dude gonna be Kobe Bryant, but you didn't see a whole game. You only saw 3 minutes.
Yeah.
And that's where people get into trouble. So.
Right. So even though we know, because I feel like the conversation with social media is like what we're talking about right now, where people know the truth behind it. However, even with knowing that truth, you're still seeing what you're seeing. If it's 5 minutes out of their day, you're seeing that 5 minutes. Does seeing that success of other men make men feel behind still? Even if you
Absolutely.
know it's not real.
Yes.
Oh, it's common. Like, you're just going to feel that way. Listen, I still feel that way. As crazy as that sounds, where I'm always wondering, like, am I doing enough for my family? Am I,
Right.
should I be at a certain place? Because, you did a really great job in the open. Like, listen to all our, job titles, which obviously took work to get those things.
Right.
So when you don't make what you feel you should be making, whether it's income-wise or go on certain kind of vacations or what have you, it's natural to think like, man, like did I mess up somewhere down the road? So yeah, like even me, who people think like, oh, like he's a doctor, got a good job at a university, but there are times I've definitely sit at home and wonder like, man, like, and I replay moments in my life and think like, should I have taken that job? Or when I went to this negotiation, should I have asked for $1,500 more or whatever? It's just natural that's going to happen.
Yeah.
So it's natural for men, and we're only sticking to men just because this is what the show is for. I know it's for everybody to feel this way sometimes as well, but for men, when you log on, to question your entire life because you're seeing what you're seeing online.
Question the whole life, man. It's tough.
No. You.
I've met with groups of women and talked about this, and there are women who they feel like when I log on now, I'm questioning everything that I'm doing. So I'm just wondering, when you watch a reel, do you question? No. I'm as simple as basic as it could be. As long as I can take care of my family, I don't care about the next man because I know it's more to that. Like, you can't sell me on a false dream. Like, success is being pushed so heavily that, like LB said, Clarence said,
It's fine. Either one. That's fine.
You push it so much that you just don't see you don't see the failure, right? If you see the process from start to finish, then it puts it in a better perspective, like, man, he went through all this just to get here, right? Then it makes it look a lot better. Like, just imagine if we didn't see all the glamour and glitz when it comes to social media, and we just see all the struggle. What would people be at then? Then you have people with a different mindset, like, well, man, he went through something. Maybe I can do the same thing. I don't feel as bad as I do now. So if you figure that they show some of that, then you have a different mindset of people. So I don't.
Well, I would say if that's all you ingest is social media, it can mess up your viewpoint. But I mean, life is ups and downs. It's like it's an ebb and flow. If money was the answer, you wouldn't have wealthy people that commit suicide and all of these other things.
Absolutely.
So money doesn't provide everything you need. There's still a family aspect, a friendship aspect. But if all you ingest is highlight reels of people going on trips and going shopping and buying cars and the workout videos, now you're like, man, I'm fat. I mean, you can get into a space where you're like, well, I'm not living life, and then you'll miss out the beauty of life, which is the journey, the process. You'll miss the forest for the trees. Like if you're out chasing the bag the whole time, then you might not be able to be with your kids for certain events because you're chasing the bag, or you might not be here for family because you're busy. You're burnt out chasing the bag. You have to enjoy. Everybody's process is different, but you have to enjoy the journey.
Yeah. First, I just want to say I was moved. I was ready to.
There were tears in my eyes.
But two, I think yes, there are men who will log online and immediately feel like, oh, I didn't really do enough because of what they saw, right? But that goes to a bigger problem where I think there is a world where social media could have been a platform to inspire people, right?
I was just going to say, how do you use it to motivate?
That's how it started initially.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, when we were,
it started because Mark Zuckerberg was trying to holler at somebody, but that's how it started.
Determination.
Yeah, social network.
I think he got her.
No, he did. At the end, he was clicking that button and she didn't come
Right.
in. Yeah.
But that's not even how it started, because
jujitsu.
before that, there was like MySpace and stuff,
Yeah.
right? So
Tom.
this is interesting because even talking about
Black Planet.
even talking about the generations, right? Like
Yeah.
how you were saying, you said, well, think of if there was a time where if we didn't have this and you just only seen real life, like circumstances, struggles and pain, but also joy and happiness. But we know a time before that was that,
Yeah.
right? And so the thing is, how do we get like individuals that are our youth, let's say, to use social media as motivation instead of just all of life? Like, is that possible?
yeah, it's
Yeah.
going to take one person.
Yeah, we have Tom, but
It
you
just
got to bring back
yeah.
Black Planet. I don't know
Yeah.
what to tell you.
I mean, but it takes one person to really break that mold and step out there and actually show people a journey of this point to this point in my life.
Yeah, no, you're right. It will be because there's someone or a group of someones who are okay with the ridicule of it, right? Someone who has tough enough skin to go out there and know that there will be folks who will make comments, because first of all, never read the comments,
Of course.
who are going to, no matter how positive your thing is, are going to try to tear it down. Of course. But can you keep going and persevering on despite that? That's when there could be a shift, and it's going to take someone like really important. It'll take someone like, and I'm not even trying to clown them, okay? It'll be like LeBron James being like, you know what? Don't worry about how you look, whatever, and just shaving his head off, right?
Right.
And doing that, but as crazy as it sounds, there'll be some younger person who may be having, self-esteem issues, who'll think like, oh, if he can do that, not worry about it, who am I to think that I can't do it? And like, that's the thing it will take.
Yeah.
But as long as much as I don't like it, the people that society looks up to, which are our celebrities, unfortunately, are so infatuated or so concerned about, self-image, that's just going to continue.
Yeah.
Right. What man would it take for men to get motivated? Like, you use LeBron, but you chuckle at that. So who is an actual man that could be?
Listen, it's always Denzel Washington.
Yeah.
Okay.
Denzel can lead us.
Okay.
You ain't see Malcolm X?
But he can't make us drink, though. He can't make us drink the water. No, you got to find somebody that's really heavily in social media. Like you said, if LeBron did it,
I can see someone like Michael B. Jordan for people who are like into
Michael B.
movies,
Jordan,
things like that.
Or Tip,
Well,
but does it have to be a celebrity?
From.
Like, could this group of men right here
yes,
create something? You know what I mean? Because it's a lot of influencers now. Now there are people on social media I don't even know, but they have millions of followers. So could it be somebody who is not?
Well, shameless plug. I mean, we have a podcast where we do the Black Male Experience. I like that.
Yeah. Stole one of your moves.
She did. She tried to out-segue me. It's unbelievable.
I was going to get it in there somewhere. You have a
what
now?
Yeah. We have what now? Yeah. The podcast.
The podcast.
Yeah. Called BMX, the Black Male Experience, where we attempt to at least shed our opinion and give people advice on how to approach different elements of your life, right? We have fun with it, as we hope we're demonstrating here today, but also we go into real things, whether it's about our own mental health or the issues we have in our relationships with parenting, with work. So, yeah, we're trying to do that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. At least until we sell out.
Yeah.
Once we sell out,
it's over with.
Well,
then it becomes
that's another
AMX.
conversation.
Everybody's included.
All male experience.
That's another conversation. But I do want to move from, because we've pointed out, relationships and finance. I want to move to the whole alpha male story on social media. We hear a lot about the masculine male or the alpha male, right? Power, money, and if you're not winning, then you're weak. Just the conversation alone, just to hear that alone, how does it make men feel?
I feel like shut up. Really. You're not money doesn't make you a male. What makes you a male is, helping your community, helping your kids, helping someone. Because what is a man? He's to help protect, build, provide, bridge the generations. So the whole alpha male conversation, the whole red pill theory, the whole passport stuff, I'm tired of hearing it personally.
Yeah. Yeah.
So tired.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one. Alpha male. Boy, sit down somewhere. Take
your time.
Right.
Because it does bother me a little bit when men who are successful try to tell other men how to live their life. Like, my struggle isn't your struggle. My mind state isn't your mind state. You may not have kids. You can't dictate what a man is if you don't have certain circumstances that you have to overcome. So just because you're up here doesn't mean I'm down here and I'm less of you. So like Adam said, if you want to talk about being a man, it's about building one another up instead of tearing us down. Not saying, hey, you have to get to this level, because then that gives a false narrative to women as well. Hey, this guy is so successful. This is what it's like to be a man. And it's like, no. You want to talk about being a man? Look, I make sure my kids have clothes on their back, a roof over their head, all the bills are paid. I make sure they're mentally together, whether that be, spending time with them, disciplining them, and making sure that I'm always there for my wife, making sure that she's mentally together, and being vulnerable.
Yeah.
So whatever their narrative is, I can't agree with it. No.
Yeah. I mean, I think it can be frustrating. I think a lot of men will probably feel that way. It can be frustrating from two different levels. It can be frustration at what they're saying in terms of like what my brothers just talked about. But it's also frustration when you buy into it, and then again, you put that unrealistic expectation on yourself. What makes an alpha male, again, I'm not going to reiterate what they've already gone into, because they've, I think, hit the nail right on the head. What I would caution people from doing is engaging in what we call anchor bias, right?
Okay.
And so that's where we assume, because we identify with someone in some way, shape, or form, that their experience is the same as mine, right?
Yeah.
As I tell students all the time, regardless of race, ethnicity, gender, just because somebody look like you doesn't mean that they for you. You know what I mean? But that's where a lot of people get in trouble, because they'll go online and be like, okay, so-and-so's 19 just like me. They're going through, like, you don't know, again.
Right.
And that goes to that whole, because we have this access, we assume we know someone's story.
Right.
And you don't. And because of that, when we talk about being an alpha anything, we're, again, taking that leap of faith that this person has everything figured out, and thus their word must be gospel, and that's, of course, not true.
Right. I like this breakdown and debunking, right, the myths behind this. I do want to know, with that perspective, now women watch these same relationship reels and people having these conversations, so there's a lot of talk around an alpha male or a masculine male with women. How does a woman receiving this information affect men, bringing it to the table?
Well, one, if you have to call yourself an alpha, you're not. What does your community say about you? I'm saying your close friends, your family, your children, if you have them. But to speak to the women watching these podcasts, that's the problem.
I love the smirks.
That's the problem.
Yes.
I have to think about how I'm going to phrase it, because it's a case of the blind leading the blind.
Somebody got to play the dog.
Yeah, we don't. I said this the other day when we were talking privately. We don't have those older individuals with the wisdom to impart the wisdom. So now you have people, anybody with internet and a microphone is imparting their form of wisdom, and it's not all wise. So I would say speak to, and not all old people have wisdom. So find an older person with wisdom.
Yes.
And then go from that, not these podcasts, because it's not it.
Yeah.
You can still be an old fool. I
Yeah.
like that.
Absolutely.
I tell people that. I tell clients that all the time, that everybody older does not have wisdom. You can run into an old fool. But I think people are finding that difficulty now, because people, like you said, who are we going to? So now you do rely on a podcast or a show like this to come and listen to somebody speak. How are men sifting that out? Like, okay, this is the right one to listen to, or let me not pay attention to that one.
Well, this is definitely the right one. To
Yeah,
listen to.
absolutely.
I mean,
So tune in.
yeah, absolutely. I think it takes someone doing their due diligence. You know what I mean? Again, you got to treat it almost like homework. I know that's a scary word for a lot of people, but you do. You have to look and see what these people's credentials are for saying these words. Like, is it just that they got a lot of followers? Is it just because of how they look in the thumbnail of the video that you clicked on it? Or is it because when you read the bio and description, you're like, oh, okay, they went to school for this, or they're currently married? I mean, what was the biggest knock people had about Steve Harvey when he did the
He was on
Think
his-
Like a Man? It's like, how
on his third
are we
marriage, yeah.
listening to this? Again, that doesn't mean he didn't have anything positive or good to say.
Right.
But when it's like, this has to be the only thing. It's like, well, does it? Because there may be another way. Clearly, there are other ways. So,
Right.
No, yeah.
a long inhale.
Yeah, I know. It's really because I spaced out for like a quick second.
That's okay. We'll keep going.
Yeah.
So, moving forward.
I got ADHD.
Yeah. Okay.
Now,
You can't-
that's a conversation to have, right? Just claiming it, but also that's a real thing,
Yeah.
too, and that some people are denying. And with you saying that, I do want to move forward in this portion of it where for my entire life, I have heard that men suffer in silence, right? And that's been believed and accepted. I want to know, is this still the case? And has social media made it worse? Like, is that even still a real statement?
Yes.
Yes, it has. Definitely seek any kind of therapy, right? That's the first thing. Don't jump to social media to debunk anything that you're thinking or feeling. Seek professional help immediately. It heavily influences any kind of mental instability that you got going on.
Yeah. That's why I got to call Nina.
Yeah, for sure.
Thanks, guys.
You're supposed to say your business
a lot.
thing.
Right.
But no,
Everybody knows at this point.
dude, hey, listen, every episode, somebody's
Abundance
first.
Counseling Services is here to serve everybody, but
Thank
especially men, which is why I focus on men's topics a lot, because I feel that's the foundation and the pillar of our societies. So I'm here definitely to provide that support for any male that needs it.
Yeah.
You like that better?
It's
Yeah.
very good.
Absolutely.
I
Good
appreciate
stuff.
that.
Good stuff.
Yeah, no.
He wanted to segue you, that's why.
Yeah, and, I mean, yeah, it's clearly. How dare you? Yeah, no, I think when we talk about the suffering in silence, yeah, because nobody wants to get embarrassed. You know, I think we have hit a point in our, life cycle as a people on this planet where sensitivity is at an all-time high. And that's not even like you sensitive, like you're a punk or, the machismo kind of cop out that a lot of people go with. I mean, in terms of just how we perceive ourselves, how we're fearful of how other people perceive us, whether we're at work, at home. Like, there are people, and you know what? I'm guilty of it myself, who I still won't make comments or say things to my own wife not because I'm worried about like, oh, she's gonna get mad at me, but I'm just worried like, is this gonna come out right? Is it gonna sound the right way, right? I'm thankful that she's at least open to receiving whatever I have to say, and gives me a space to be vulnerable. And with that, social media has, I think, made it harder for people to actually share and be vulnerable because, the people who are on there, and I hate to be that guy, a lot of them are doing it for the clicks,
Of course.
Okay.
Like, oh my goodness, during the holiday season, you couldn't have paid me to watch another video of some woman putting up a video like, I cooked all this food for Christmas and nobody came to my house. It's like, word, you just made a bunch. No, nobody called you, told you to come. They all just lied to you. The whole family lied.
Right.
And then you can put out a whole spread on your table and a shot of it. But like, that's what people, so I think we have to learn how to not conflate those kind of videos with the fact that there are people who, did spend Christmas or the holiday season alone and don't know how to express like that I'm lonely.
need somebody.
Yeah, exactly.
It's the alpha male mentality. Goes right back to that because you feel like you have to be macho, strong. There's no room for emotion. Guys don't want to say they're hurt, depressed. Depressed is a big thing. And that whole alpha, that's the only alphas I know is a wolf. And if they take care of their family a different type of way. So if you're that type of animal, then more power to you. But no, it's that whole alpha mentality will just lead you down the wrong path. No.
But why does silence for men equal strength?
Well, so I mean, I deal with this a lot myself. This is something I'm working through. But in our community in particular, it's you just suck it up. Like, ain't no crying in baseball. You don't get to cry. You a man up. And so even if you are hurting in pain, you stifle it, if you will. Is it healthy? No. But that's part of the I would say the play with the alpha male and the social media there's been this imbalance, right? So it's either you can keep it to yourself or be overly emotional.
Yeah.
And overshare with the internet with folks who don't care nothing about you.
Nobody wants.
And
to
now
ask for
folks are
that
talking
help.
about you.
Yep.
So then there is a space online for men to be able to share.
Well, I think the platform, yeah, it exists. You can do it.
Yeah.
But
No, I'm talking about general social media. I'm talking about they go to like the Facebooks and the
Oh, yeah.
Instagrams.
Start
Yeah.
posting
Yeah,
your
yeah,
feelings.
And-
yeah, you can,
Yeah. Is
but people don't.
Yeah.
That's the problem. Like it exists,
Uh-huh.
but yeah.
So what's odd to me, and this could be a complete bias because of what I do. So my algorithm definitely has a bunch of therapeutic conversation, but I do see more conversations with men geared towards mental health, mental healing, and well-being. I see that those spaces exist. Why not listen to those individuals? And
that's never the first place they reach.
Okay.
Like I said, that if their algorithm isn't reaching for it, it won't show it. So they won't know to actually reach out to this person unless you know somebody, which, you know, you got to have a good network of friends and family that know and care and will help guide you in the right direction. But you just have to be humble enough to accept that handout and that reach. Like I said, most alpha men, because they want to be alpha, you want to take on responsibility and do it yourself. They don't want to ask for the help. They don't look for the help. And that'll lead to your downfall as well. So
Exactly.
you got to reach out and have the right connection.
I would say don't try to be super macho. Like everybody needs somebody.
Yeah.
And so if you got to express it, you got to get out of your own head first. And so if you don't do anything but talk to a friend, you got to talk to somebody. Y'all remember some years ago, y'all talked me off a ledge, you know, a time or two.
Yeah.
But I mean, everybody doesn't have that network of friends
Right.
with sound judgment and iron sharpen iron, if you will.
Right.
Some people got friends like, oh, you want to jump? Then jump. Do you, man?
Right.
You know,
I'ma
I see
jump
you on
with
the other
you.
side. No,
Right.
you know, you got to have people, again, with wisdom
Yeah.
to confide in.
Because right now it's rubber sharpening rubber, and it don't make no sense.
Yeah, crashing out is big in the streets.
Told you.
Yes.
You know?
They said blind leading the blind, and both parties are playing the CNI dogs. Don't know where they're going.
now, why does that not look weak though? Why is crashing out accepted but not speaking truth? Right? Because to
Because
me,
you can
that why,
assign, because again, not saying it's right, but I think people feel you can assign blame
Yeah.
when you're crashing out, right? Usually when people say they're crashing out, it's because something happened,
Right.
right? It's, oh, my job didn't give me the days I needed to be off.
right?
I can't believe this happened. Then now you created a villain.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So again, not saying that's 100%. That's
Right.
a working theory.
Yeah.
So I feel that that's probably a big part of narrative building on social media is trying to create something that other people can rally behind. And sometimes, not sometimes, a lot of times it's in the negative space. You know what I mean? It's, you know, I went on this date. Can you believe that so-and-so did this? Because you're waiting for that confirmation bias, bring another kind of bias in here of a bunch of people, because now you've created a villain in your mind, at least in your story,
Yeah.
and you're trying to see, like, how many people are going to agree with me on that? So when we talk about the crashing out, you're not to crash, you have to hit something.
Yeah.
Right.
So if you're crashing out, in theory, it's because of someone or something happened. I couldn't get to my flight because TSA, blah, blah, blah. It's ridiculous what's going on. Then you get 1,000 people coming. Yeah, I remember I was late to my flight because blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's what happens, I think, a lot of times, why people find crashing out,
Acceptable.
acceptable, because then you get someone to rally against.
Right. Okay.
But also from the male perspective, it's easily acceptable to have vibrato and aggression, but not crying and, having, that other emotion.
Yeah.
But it's socially acceptable to be aggressive,
Angry. Yeah.
Yeah.
but not to be sad and crying.
Yeah.
No. Yeah.
Okay. I want to go back to a part of what you said, like, if you say something about your girl online and now you created that villain. So let's talk relationships.
But further, that's how you
Right.
kill your girl.
Right.
You did.
The women's
You
history
did.
attack is
You
happening.
said it. But let's talk relationships
Yeah, I'm
because
about to
that's
crash
shared
out.
a lot online, right? So sharing online for those men who post about their relationships and about their women online, What are your thoughts about it? Should it happen? Do we need to stop it?
Wild.
It needs to stop.
Immediately.
It immediately has to
Yes.
stop.
Because there's somebody online like, oh yeah, you having problems? I've been waiting.
That's true, though.
Yeah, you got the background dude who's just waiting like, all right, it's my time up at bat.
But some men don't have, like you keep saying, that wisdom to go to say, let me talk to my group. So they share online. Like, this happened. They pour out. Listen, I see a lot of relationships where both sides, women and men, pour out. So how is that affecting others' relationships, I would say? Like, you all are all married. So if you see, if your wife sees somebody online posting something, then does a conversation come home?
Mm-hmm. I'm just gonna close my eyes on that note because I'm pretty sure this guy's looking at me.
I'm not even gonna look your way, man.
I wonder if this is a safe space.
This is a safe space.
My wife can be influenced by social media, and a lot of what happens around her can influence a lot of what she feels I should follow and I should do, because when I'm at home, I'm there to make sure everybody's good, and I try to have some time to myself, and I try to make sure she's fine because of her health. So, but a lot of times I may slip up, right? That's my area of work I need. So I might not give her that time she needs, and she'll reference anything back from whatever she's watching or whatever she's seeing in her family and friends' life, and it can come back and it can bite me in the butt. And I am a little bit more loose with my lips and my thoughts. There's no filter from the brain to the mouth, so it usually comes out, and then I have to kind of dial back and verify whatever statement I said. Yeah, I ain't got no chill.
I get it. And I think that's the problem with some of the relationship advice online, is because it's natural for somebody to consume it and now bring it home, right?
Yep.
This happened even before social media. If it had something happened at work, now you bring it home.
Yeah.
Right? But then now it's intensified, like you said, and to have those moments where it's unfiltered, is that creating more stress and pressure for men?
It is, because most men don't know how to communicate with their women. It's the biggest problem, right?
Yeah.
Because you don't want what you say to be weaponized. So if a man wants to be vulnerable, he's got to consider what type of woman he has, right? Is she a loose cannon, or is she somebody who's mild-mannered and can speak, life into you freely? So that plays a big part into it. I wish I had that. I don't have it.
I would say a lot of what online calls pandering is communication, right? So these passport bros be like, I wouldn't take this from this woman, and if I say bleep bleep bleep, and then you go home and go bleep bleep, and now you outside
Or in jail
with your stuff, right? But you've got to know how to communicate. It's not pandering. And then again, as you said before, you got to know who you're talking to. So we've been married long enough to know who we're dealing with.
Yeah.
But some people don't have that convenience. But again, in communication, take what you're going to say, and if it's raw, just don't say it. You got the process.
Yeah.
Because you don't, again, and then if you're in a situation of where I've never been there, but if it's a domestic thing, you need to reel it back. If you got to whisper, talk calmly.
Yeah.
And if you need a third party, have a witness there,
Right.
So it doesn't escalate.
Right. You don't want
But
to go to jail.
there's a way you've got to present it. You catch a whole lot more bees with honey than with vinegar.
What pastor?
Yeah.
I know, right? Turned into a preacher on here, okay?
Pass that basket around in a minute. Golly.
No, the church is open.
Will there be one? Will there be one?
But no, I mean, again, these two are killing it today. The idea that, again, knowing who you're dealing with is a big thing. I just want to make sure we put out there as plainly as we can, don't put your hands on a woman. You know what I mean? Like,
Thank you.
You know, there's
Never.
no reason for that. Like, unless this is a super villain situation where it's like, oh my gosh,
Unless she has a knife
Right.
she
about
about,
to
Wonder
stab.
Woman.
she
Yeah.
about to blow up the whole East Coast. It's like,
Yeah.
all right, well then maybe. But outside of that,
Still don't put your hands
Yeah,
on the
but
wall.
at the same time,
So what? You want the East Coast to be
Still do
gone?
not put your hands in the wall. We're speaking mental health, right?
Yeah.
So-
Okay,
and
right.
I get that there are those relationships,
Oh, I'm
but I
not
think this is
joking,
what,
yeah,
of
yeah.
course,
Yeah, yeah.
but this is what they need to hear, right? Like the
Yeah, you can't do that.
continued,
Yeah.
hey, don't, this is not okay, don't do
and
this.
it's
Yeah.
never okay for a woman to put their
And
their
you're
man's
seeing
on the-
videos
on the man.
online of
Yeah.
that kind of thing happen, which
Yes.
is but not beyond bananas to
Yeah.
me. That,
Yes.
Like you,
Yeah, we're adults. Nobody should be hitting anybody.
Right.
You know?
well,
If you get to that space where you feel like it's finna get physical, just walk
you
away.
have to walk away.
Walk away and leave and come back.
Yeah.
They say, or get somebody to be somebody that's sensible in the middle. You don't want,
Mhm.
somebody who's leaning one way or another, and then you got a problem.
I'm glad you said sensible, because some of the videos you see online, they call it third party, but it's somebody who's going
Instigating.
to, and the relationship, it gets even worse.
Yeah.
Oh, you still let her in the
Right.
house? Like what?
Right.
no.
Right.
Get
So-
out
Look
of here.
look what he doing.
Again, wise counsel, right? So somebody that, with these things, like even what we, because we just kind of got deeper than I was going right now, right? But even with seeing this type of stuff online, does it put the pressure on men to look like the perfect husband, provider, or father? Because you do see the negativity that people see. So now, do you feel pressure to appear a certain way online?
Well, okay. Do I think there's pressure for some men out there? Absolutely.
Okay.
You know, I personally don't feel it because I'm just gonna like, I know I'm an amazing father. 'Cause,
Yeah.
like, one, because
Super dad.
I don't think I am.
Yeah.
That's why I know I'm an amazing
Ooh,
one.
okay.
Because I am always thinking like, oh man, like was I too stern with my daughter?
Mm-hmm.
You know, did I do something wrong? Like I think about that. I can wake up in the middle of the night and the first thing that come to my head is, man, don't want to do this for my kid, don't want to do that.
Yeah.
So so that lets me know that like I care enough to judge myself. You know what I mean? I actually think that there is a segment out there who think it's actually cooler, quote unquote, to look like you don't care online. You know, where there's a lot of dudes out here who are like, yeah, I sent the check or I did, blah, 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 but I'm still in these streets or I'm still
Yeah.
partying or I'm living my best life. Not, I don't see tons, unfortunately, of videos of people out here like, yep, just driving with my wife and kids to X show or anything like that. It's, yep, so-and-so watching the kids, we out here tonight. It's a lot of like, going back to our earlier topic, flaunting
Yes.
Yeah.
and trying to like, you got it like that.
Yeah. I think nowadays you got to be mindful, even in that regards of sharing what you're doing in your personal life, because safety, right? Both on your end and your family's end.
Fair.
Well, yes, to that you have people who don't wish you well as well. So,
Absolutely.
I mean, you can post things and everything will be going well, and you're like, where's all this negativity coming from?
Yeah.
Because now you posted something online and people have sent their negative words towards you,
Yeah.
So from a social media standpoint, when I feel like I need to do a lot online, I just pull back from online because I've clearly been online too long.
Yeah.
Because I don't know these people.
Yeah.
Right.
You need a mental break at times. I've walked away from Facebook. Just like
Unplug.
Clarence, like,
Yeah. Well,
I-
I got out for reasons.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But I agree. I promote unplugging all the time. I
Yeah.
think that's needed.
I definitely unplug, and if I'm on YouTube, it's looking up recipes and watching how to fix my vehicle. That's pretty much it.
Okay.
Because that's the only people that's gonna teach me anything how to fix something. You got a lot of people that don't know how to change a tire,
Gotcha.
but know how to crash out immediately.
Yeah, I get you. Now I'm gonna just jump straight to it. Talking about relationships, I kind of already know the answer to this, but has social media expanded the cheating space? Is it more temptation out there?
It's more accessible.
Mm-hmm.
You can pay for it. It's no longer
I-
$40, but I mean, just
It's
be
$40K a month.
Let's
We're
be
talking
real.
about.
Like
I-
it's
Signing contracts.
it's all over the place.
Yeah, I would say for some, absolutely $3.99. For some sites, I don't.
I don't know how we got to payment. Mentally, how are you? Knows nothing about payments of what they're discussing. I just want to know: are men more tempted with what you see online now?
Yes.
Right. I know a lot of women feel pressure because of what they see online, but
You know
is that
what?
temptation real?
I'm going to take the opposite. I don't think people are more tempted. I think, if anything, it has desensitized us to the extent where we actually don't value, sexuality in women as much as we probably used to. Like, we can still,
That's a good point.
Again, if you see someone beautiful, sure, you may look and be like, oh, that's beautiful, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But because of, you have to be extremely careful. Like, you can't let your kids or younger people be over your shoulder when you're just scrolling on your phone. Because, again, you may not even be looking for anything.
But it pop up.
And it'll just be a random thing because people are using the hashtags or whatever that are popular or trending at that moment to get themselves more views. And then there's just complete, nudity and sex, on X and on these other platforms.
Yep.
And so I think that's actually made it to a point where with society, sure, does it make you want other people? Yes. But I think if anything, it's probably made it more where within relationships, there's been a devaluing of what it means to be intimate with somebody else. And in terms of, and then that sets the expectation, because now if you're a young man and you've been online and you see someone who's, of course, quote unquote famous and got money or 1,000 followers or whatever, and she's been, twerking or showing bikini videos and stuff like that, when you go out on your regular date, not saying your person's regular, but you go on your date, your thinking is going to be, well, if I done seen her, what's the big deal with you? Why can't you show me something? Why can't we do blah, blah? And that's where we get into a lot of trouble, in my opinion.
Yeah. No.
Well stated, I would say.
Yeah. Okay, I like that answer. So, and I like the balance where you guys are saying, yes, it has, but then also no this, right? It's desensitized individuals. I would want to know, of the most popular podcast and broadcasting that you see on social media, which one would you say actually helps men? Relationship advice, money advice, have you found one where it's this is actually solid?
Mentally, how are you?
I heard that was a good thing too.
Yeah.
Heard that.
I like it. I've liked the videos.
Yeah. Clickbait.
Okay, good. I'm glad that you guys watch Mentally How Are You. We just had an episode about relationships, so this is interesting that you keep hinting at it. And it's about relationship with yourself, though, before trying to go forward with anything else, right? So I think even to be able to be in this position that you guys are talking about with being desensitized or, yes, open to a cheating space, it all starts because you don't have a healthy relationship within. So for men, where do you find that to be able to promote, to grow, and groom that relationship within?
Well, I haven't heard of too many places other than the BMX podcast.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. You both are making me so proud today. This is great.
Between BMX and the gym.
Yeah.
The gym? You said the gym?
Yeah, you got to burn that energy off.
Yeah.
Coping skills?
Focus.
Okay.
But yeah, I don't. It's sad. There's not too many platforms that I've seen that can help with men and mental health.
And while it may not be as popular as it used to be, you can always turn to the church, you know what I mean? Or the word, rather. You don't get so caught up in institutions and the sex of Christianity, but more so the actual word and message. I would encourage that, because we have enough issues in the world where people get too caught up on the cover of the book versus what's actually going on inside of it. But
I get that. Now, we've covered finances, individualism, relationships. What about fatherhood with social media? How has fatherhood been affected and parenting been affected because of social media?
I want to say gentle parenting, which is trash. Social media really pushed that, and now we see the results of that. Stop it. Go back to what worked.
Beat them.
You can't say that.
You can't say that.
No,
No.
But
No.
No.
But discipline,
Yeah.
we do promote
Oh,
discipline
okay.
and consequences here.
I told you there's no
right?
filter from here to here. I'm sorry. It just comes right out.
Can't.
I think, okay, so let's be honest, right, with what you're saying. Culturally, we do come from a space where you got what we would call a whooping, not a beating, but a
Right.
whooping, right? So you have spankings, whoopings, right? You have that form of discipline that has left the home because of the rules of corporal punishment, right, with our systems, and that needed to have leave because people have taken that to a certain extent.
Yeah.
But how, as fathers, do you provide that discipline when you know, okay, I'm not trying to hurt my child and I'm not trying to have anything legal go on, because that's ridiculous if it gets
Right.
to that point. However, this gentle parenting isn't working and I feel like my child's not learning enough. Like, how do you point that in?
I correct my son. So before I yell at him or if I raise my tone with him, I got to reel myself back in and I got to explain to him what he did and why he did it. And I got to make him think about why it was wrong and why he needs to think about his actions before he does them. Right? So if he to bring it back home with a personal one, he has a Black History Project that was due today, but he didn't
March.
he didn't remind us until Monday that he needed certain
Material?
material for the project. So before I escalated any kind of attitude, I had to take a step back and I said, hey, listen, you are getting older. You have more responsibility. We will not be able to cover your tracks like we are supposed to. So you are going to have to learn to be proactive, or I'm going to have to be reactive. And when I said that, I gave him and he understood exactly what I meant in that space. So I try to be firm but fair with my son, especially because he's the oldest. I take that same approach to my daughter as well. You know, she can get away with a little bit more just because,
yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
father and
not
daughter.
okay.
I'm sorry. It's
I know, but it
yeah.
happens, but it's not okay because our girls need structure as
Yes,
well.
I
and
give her
discipline as
I
well.
give her the structure, but you know, it's that time it just melts your heart, and I can't. And I give my son the same love,
Yeah.
but I have to be more firm with him because he's more into the world and with his friends, so I have to be a little bit more strict with him, especially with social media and
Right.
what he's doing on the video games, stuff like that. So
Yeah. It's tough because I really want to push back on some of the stuff about like the beatings and the trauma and all the other stuff. But just because, okay, now I'm derailed.
I was going to say, we
yeah.
can be honest.
Well, no, because I feel that the issue isn't that corporal punishment existed in the home. It's that people stopped explaining or creating a better understanding of why it was happening in the
Right.
home. Right? Like, what ended up happening is that there are a lot of parents who, unfortunately, are hitting their kids,
Yes.
you know, sometimes excessively, and never having a follow-up conversation. You know what I mean? It was you broke something or whatever. They didn't even explain you broke it, just came in,
violence.
yeah,
Pummel. Yeah.
and then just left. And those kids grew up thinking like, this was terrible. I'm never doing this to my kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then when you've got that, you've bled into this new realm of, I want to be my kid's friend. And you can't be that. You
Never.
can't do that.
Don't wanna.
You know, I think about a situation I had when I worked at this high school, and there was a young girl, freshman, and I'll never forget it, missed at least 140 days of school.
What?
Sheesh.
And it's the end of the year, so clearly she failed. I was going to have to repeat. So they were doing the conferences, and we had those kind of things. They'd have me come in and sit with some of the parents and the teachers. And so I'm sitting with her mom and the student, and they say, and they were like, hey, we want her to come back, but she needs to go to summer school so she can start building good habits. You know, it won't count towards her freshman year, but she needs to get in the spirit of coming to school regularly, following rules, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
I'll never forget it. That mother looked directly at her child like, is that something you want to do? And I'm like, and I told her, I was like, excuse me, with all due respect, she's a child. That's not her decision to make. That's yours. But she told me, like, well, if she's not going to do it, then it doesn't make any sense to me to like push that on her. I'm like,
Wow.
and they ended up walking out. They got their papers, and the person never came back. I think about that student, that was over a decade ago. Every blue moon, not in like a negative context, but just like,
What happened?
I hope I hope it worked out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I hope it eventually turned.
Yeah.
And so I say all that. I share that story to say, when we talk about the social media aspect of it, if you're going through your parenting repertoire and not thinking about how to create or give, sense giving, which is this concept that talks about explaining the why
Yes.
in terms of development, that's going to hurt your kids more than anything.
Yes.
Don't just go on social media and be like, oh, so and so did this with their kids, so that's what I'm gonna do. Because that means nothing.
Yeah.
And that means nothing to your kid either, because they don't know where that even came from. They're like, what? Why are we doing this?
Yeah.
Right.
We don't go hiking. Why are we out here?
Right.
You have to have those conversations.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Now, what about the fact that there are a lot of parents who are allowing social media to raise their children? You're put in front of a device at 2.
That's dangerous.
Yeah.
That's very dangerous.
I've seen a lot of fathers where when it's daddy daycare time, it's like, okay, here goes your tablet, here goes.
Yeah.
No, my daughter is big into whatever is popping on YouTube, the K-pop stuff. So
Yeah.
that's what she is.
Living life like it's golden, man.
Yeah, and she'll turn on several TVs and watch one of them. But I more or less have to focus in on my son because, once again, he's old enough to
Find them twerking videos.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. I've gone through his phone plenty of times. I'm like, hey,
Don't put him out here like that.
oh no, I'm putting him out on blast. But you got to, like, if your child has a device, you have to dig in it, right? So I dig in his phone. I'm like, hey man, who is this girl that you got plenty of pictures of? And right, I'm busting them out now. Like, hey, dude.
Talk
Right,
to me.
but yeah, I have absolute control over his phone, so and all of his devices, so I can turn off whatever, whenever. His internet, if he's not performing right in school, I can see, I can do whatever, right? So it's, you can't let social media give any kind of narrative to your kids, or else they're gonna take that and kind of run with it and try to, apply it in their life, and it's not in my house.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not super obsessed like Ice Cube in War of the Worlds, but I am. So, so my kids have, the younger ones, the boys, the 10-year-olds, they have this technology on their phone where I can see everything that's happening, every text message, every call, every website, and when they act up, I can just shut their phone off.
Right.
But you have, in this day and age, you have to monitor, because even on the roadblocks and stuff, there's adults posing as kids.
Yes.
Grooming and scoping and trying to get you. So I stay on top of everything. Like, I am on them.
Even with gaming, my son wanted a headset for so long because he likes to play Call of Duty. I'm like, no, those lobbies are toxic.
It's true.
And the words you're gonna hear, terminology I don't want you to hear, because I don't use it in my house. So no.
Yeah, you have to ask questions. Like, it's akin to when they used to say, hey, just go watch, Nick Jr. or TV all day. I know we like to act like there's a whole new world because of the tablets. Like, no, people have been doing using this as a tactic for forever.
Yeah.
But you have to ask questions. Like, what are you watching? Like I said, monitoring, going back to check and see what kind of videos they looked at. And honestly, just uninstalling apps. You know what I mean? Like, if you want to put a, Reading Eggs or ABC Mouse and then like a Disney Plus or something like that, and then just make sure there's a certain account for your kid. Like, you have to do those things, because if you don't, you've created that system where they could go that way. Not saying that they're bad. I mean that they're actively seeking it out, But if it happens, it's because you didn't take the proper precautions. And so I would encourage parents, and we did this when we had our summer break episode last year, where we talked about, okay, start looking into them summer camps.
Yes.
Think about activities to actually do with your kids.
Yes.
Like, I take my daughter to the movies often because, she likes to go to the movies, and I like movies, so we'll do that. She does ice skating. She does a lot of other activities. I know, his boys like to cook, and they do those kind of things. He has football over on this end. Like, you have to be more invested, and we understand that there are some men out here who may not have that freedom because maybe your relationship situation isn't as strong as you want it to be.
Right.
Maybe work-wise, you just don't have that kind of flexibility.
Right.
This isn't to make you feel bad.
Right.
You got to work within the reality of your situation. But when you do get those moments, you may feel tired, you may be exhausted. That kid will remember the 15 minutes you spent with them more than anything.
Yep.
So just take that time.
So
Absolutely.
true.
Absolutely.
So true. I like that. Now, what about your kids monitoring you? Have you ever witnessed your children monitoring you? Scrolling?
Yeah,
Catch
Stay out
you
of grown folks'
Oh,
business.
Yeah, I'm
But
not set up for
you're just
that.
scrolling,
I'm not-
so they may watch you.
No, my son, he mirrors me a lot, and I get the blame for like he's just like you, and I take the blame for all of it, right? Because at times I can be an introvert. You kind of don't want to be around people. Yeah, I have those moments where I'm like, I kind of want to be here, chill. So my son mirrors that a lot. I try to show good habits at home, right? So being proactive by cleaning and doing all this good stuff. And he's a boy though. He's a young man growing, right? So he's more influenced by his friends and what he sees around. So he'll see what I'm doing and think to himself like, well, daddy's doing it. And I get that a lot too. Well, he sees you doing it, and it's like, So I try to maintain a good habit at home that he can have something to grasp on too. Like, hey, well, my dad did this, but he also is this kind of man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good. I highly recommend for men and just parents altogether to pay attention because children that I do counsel, they watch what you scroll through, even when parents don't know.
I make sure he's nowhere near me when I'm scrolling on. He'll try to hover and sneak up behind me. And it's like, no. Once again, I don't dabble Facebook like that. I'm usually on YouTube. So if he sees me watching YouTube, it's usually somebody cooking some stuff up.
Okay.
So hey, listen, this is what you're gonna see.
Okay. I feel like in this segment, you guys have given some good parenting advice to some fathers, so I like that.
Yeah,
It's been less about the
stern
social
discipline.
media.
But the biggest thing is I want to really add on to that, what we're talking about kids or children. Also, try not to hold on too tight. Right? You don't want to coddle and baby and overprotect.
Okay.
Because then, they may get away, or it might bring to something else because they're too protected, right? So it's hard to find that balance, right? Where it's like, I don't want to hold on, especially with, if you have young girls, you don't want to hold on too tight. With young men, you don't want to hold on too tight, or you don't want to be too stern with them, especially with young black men. You don't want to not show enough love and affection, right? Biggest thing, like telling your son you love him, or, hugging them.
Yeah.
That's a really big thing, right? Hugging them early in the morning, just showing them any kind of affection, right? You don't want to do that. So make sure that's the biggest thing, right? Don't hold on too tight, and don't give them too much free reign.
What I'm hearing is mentors here on Mentally How Are You? This is a mentor right here for some young men. I like it.
Hey,
I like it. Good.
I'll give you some advice. The views of it may be skewed, but it's in the right path. But the delivery just might be a little rocky when you.
We've been getting them on track, so we're okay. But now to really just wrap things up and step into the heavy mental space of it all, I do want to discuss loneliness and isolation for men, right? Over the years, for men 30 and up, statistically, they have said that their friendship group has shrunk, and there's not as many outings and engagement. Is that true? How is it affecting the world of men?
I mean, Man, we're a bad example. Cause,
Yeah.
I was gonna say
mean,
this is
I
a
mean, this
healthy
is-
set right here.
I mean,
so.
this is. I mean, for me
Yeah.
anyway, like this is the
it?
table right
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
I mean, this is.
And
you know.
we only lost one because he passed. But
Yeah. But your friend group will get smaller because you'll see the type of crowd that you keep around you, and as you get older, you'll see what you'll tolerate and what you won't tolerate, and where you want to go with your space. So if you know you have a head on your shoulders, you will identify those who have a better mentality, and you'll gravitate to those.
Yeah.
And you'll stay in that circle. So if it's a small circle of people, perfect, right?
Yeah.
This is perfect. We'll get out. We know we have lives, but we'll find a time to fellowship with each other. Whether it be, hey, let's go to this bar, let's go check out this movie, or hey, listen, we haven't gone on a trip in some time where we can just, be around each other and fellowship with each other and just relax. Let's set this up, right? So you need to find those times and spaces where you can actually do that.
Yeah, it's always funny because earlier in my relationship, when I would go out with you guys and they'd be like, what y'all talking about? I'm like, work, God, things like that. And they think we'd just be BS, and it's like, no, that's actually what we were talking about.
Right, no, this is-
That's legitimately what we were talking
Yeah.
about. But, the perception is like, hey, y'all know y'all was talking about some women. And I was like,
No,
not
no.
necessarily. I think what a lot of men have to understand is, first, know the difference between a friend and an acquaintance.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, facts.
Because while your quote core friend group may shrink, you still need to be able to communicate with others.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like, one of the biggest hindrances I see to folks, professionally speaking, is that you close out your circle based on people you identify with, or you feel like, hey, they're going through something similar to me. This is my core. But then you don't invite perspectives outside of that group. And you need those perspectives to help you advance. Because if everybody you talk to got exactly what you got, well, how are you going to get more? Because they can't help you get more. Because you got the same thing they have. So you need to talk to people from different lived backgrounds, different professional upbringings, or, point of views, because that's going to help you grow and develop over time. In terms of, again, keeping that friend group smaller, that's just is naturally going to happen, because, as John so eloquently put it, you're going to start to see how people move around you.
Yeah.
And as you notice how they move, again, it's not for you to judge them, but it is a good opportunity to think about, okay, that doesn't really jive with like how I feel anymore. It could have been you when you were younger. You laughed at certain jokes or certain type of things, and now that's not your taste anymore. That doesn't mean that person is a bad person now.
Right.
It just means that you grew apart, and that's cool. It doesn't mean you have to have a negative opinion of them. It just means, in terms of how you choose to allocate your time, because time is the most valuable commodity you're going to have from this point forward, especially when you hit 30.
Yep. Time for them knees, they gone.
Yeah, I mean,
Blown out.
stiff necks, all that stuff. It's rough out here.
But I think with a lot of men on social media, I will even see videos of like, oh, we had this dinner together, or we had this men's Bible study group together. And so they feel like, man, I don't even have two buddies I could get together with and do this with in real life. So is social media promoting and creating real connection, or just the illusion of it and more pressure?
Half and half.
I would say, I'll let Adam get that.
Yeah,
I just want to say she got
yeah.
a really wholesome algorithm. Cause
Right. She said some good stuff.
Right.
Well, I would say it's a little bit of both. And then, so social media will, again, it's a highlight reel. It's some realities, and then there's some highlights. But when it comes to human interaction, how friendly are you? How approachable are you? Some guys just don't talk in general.
Yeah.
So if you're not going to strike up, like there's a few guys at my job that I don't know their name. All right. But we talk every day for about 10 to 15 minutes, just, shooting it. I don't know their name.
Yeah. And that's okay.
But yeah,
Okay.
but how approachable are you? Can you hold a conversation?
Yeah.
Are you approachable? Are you to be a friend? You have to find yourself, or to have a friend, you have to find yourself friendly.
Yes.
So are you a friendly person? Do you talk? Or are you just stuck in the rut, 9 to 5 working, hustling,
Yeah.
and not not approachable.
But what I would say to the very wholesome, like they can't find someone to go to Bible study with them. Hey, I'm trying to find somebody to go get a drink.
Right.
Bible study.
I've seen that too.
But is that because you don't know people, or because you're choosing to put yourself in a space that you may not really want to occupy? Right. What I mean by that is, are you hanging out with people? Because what might be happening with that person is they're choosing to hang out with people who are not, of the spirit, and choose not to go to church often.
Mm-hmm.
So now it's like, well, I don't have anybody to talk to or invite to go. Well, that's because the people you hang out with are too busy, getting high, getting drunk, or don't want to be in that kind of environment.
Right.
Which then goes back to are you honest and true about who you are as a person and what you really want out of life? Or are you just hanging around? Because that happens too. There are people who are, quote, friends with others, men and women, strictly because of the fear of, well, if I stop hanging out with them, am I just going to be by myself forever?
Right.
Yes. Right.
And that, people who are like, oh, this is my best friend since high school. And it's like, well, how often have you actually talked to each other since high school?
Yeah.
But
Would you all post that you're struggling online as men? Would you ever make a post like that?
No.
Not really. No. Probably never.
No.
I will talk about struggles. I mean, we had an episode where we talked about, how I was dealing with something and feeling depressed,
Okay.
So like, I will talk about it in certain aspects, but like,
Personally.
yeah, I just can't, like, for me, again, I just can't go online, and I don't like posting anyway, but I couldn't just go online and be like, hey, I'm just having a rough day.
Yeah.
Like for me, and it's a mentality thing.
Mm-hmm.
I just feel like, I'm like seeking out like someone to feel sorry for me or something like that.
Yeah.
And again, that's and again, that's how I look at it. Again, and that's definitely not true of everyone who does it. Just make sure I put it out there, but that's just my own personal preference.
When have you seen posts like that, and when you do you reach out to the person?
Yeah, so a lot of the times I've seen it, it's usually a female, and it's very detailed what they're going through. And so I'll be like, hey, praying for you, this, that, and the other. Don't give up, keep holding on, something like that. Right. Keep hope alive.
Keep up. I'll say
Shout out to Jesse Jackson's funeral today.
And then the guys are usually like, man, it's been rough out here. Pray for your boy. It don't seem mysterious, but
Right.
they could be going through a conundrum of stuff. And then, I give them the prayer hands because it wasn't specific. But,
Right.
Okay, so why not go into the detail like how you just?
Because, I'm not trying to be nosy. I'm just like, all right, you
Well,
going
that's
through. I'm
it.
going to pray for you, bro.
Fair. And I just want to say, like, when you say that, like, if you see somebody doing it, well, I mean, that sounds terrible. If it ain't them two, like, well, what am I doing? Like, and they'll just call me if it's going
But
on.
there are men that are in spaces like we just talked about who don't have
Who feel
someone.
isolated, yeah.
So
Yeah.
why not
Yeah,
in a healthy space be that man for the next one?
I try to be one. If I especially if I know the details of what's going on, I'll just reach out and be like, hey man, how you feeling, brother? It's stay strong, don't give up. I know some guys that are going through some stuff, and they, you see them at face value, and it smiles, but then there's something deeper, right? So I'll try to reach out and be like, hey man, what's going on, brother? Make light of life and make cracks and jokes and stuff like that.
But even to that point, though, notice what you said. He'll reach out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, that's different than what you bringing up, though. Like,
No.
when you saying, yes. Because you said reaching out. Like, he ain't say he posting online.
Oh, yeah, no.
No, I'm
Yeah, he
saying
called.
if you
Oh,
see
yeah, if I
another
see
man
somebody-
posting, will you reach out to him and be like, hey man, I'm here if you want to
I was
talk?
saying,
Or
we thought you were saying, like, would you go online and be in the comments and put the da-da-da? Because remember, Adam gave the example of, I would say, hey,
That
I'm praying
too?
for you. Yeah, but we're more likely, I feel like, to call someone
Okay.
and actually
Yeah.
discuss it.
Okay.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
I don't want it
Yeah.
all. Maybe
Yeah, if it's somebody I don't know, then
Yeah,
like
but
Adam said, I'm gonna throw these hands up,
although
Okay.
and I'm got the post.
there's one acquaintance of mine who's always going through something, and then after a while, you're just like, okay, but for the most part, I keep on the prayer list.
okay. Those are still the people to reach out to, though, the ones where it's like, okay, but I get what you mean, and that's when it's a recommendation of, hey, you should seek therapeutic
Yeah.
advice, right?
Just send them Nina's number. So
There you go.
Yeah.
There it is.
Would you guys post about going to therapy? Would you say that you are in therapy and you're bettering yourself?
I would.
I would say yes, but not as detailed as what's going on with me. Like, hey, like I've done therapy. I think it's something that we should all do. Blah blah blah. And not to be too detailed, but yeah, I for sure mention it. Right, it's one of the things that you don't hear about a lot, and you see a lot of your peers struggling with is mental health. Right, and like I said, they don't have an outlet of somebody just to talk to, or they just don't know a therapist to go to. Hey, look, man,
Right.
I've just did a session with such and such. You should go ahead and look up. I know you got good insurance. Go ahead and get you up in there.
Right.
Yeah.
Go ahead, find Nina somewhere.
Yeah. Again, and while we may not be the ones who are actively posting, if you're someone who is, about that life and you're constantly online and have that strong social media presence, there's nothing wrong with doing that, right? You're not going to be perceived as weak or anything like that, because the same people who will ridicule you for it are going to be the ones who are going to ridicule you when you like, hey, I'm barbecuing, and they're like, that meat look a little burnt.
Right.
The people who are going to come down on you or try to tear you down would have tore you down anyway. So
Right.
if you're not worried about it when you're posting your vacation videos or cooking demos or whatever, you shouldn't worry about it if you're also posting about taking care of yourself and trying to better your life.
Correct.
Got it. So what I'm hearing is more actual human connection, not online, but finding you a group and talking to those individuals or finding services for yourself.
Oh,
It's
listen.
always better face to face with somebody than to be, looking at a post or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So what do men really need to measure themselves by instead of social media standards?
I don't I have
Well-
funny thoughts.
Oh my God.
Well, for myself, when I'm as opposed to social media, I use my kids as my mirror, because whatever you do in moderation, your kids do in abscess. So if my kids are good and they're cool and they're speaking well of me, then I'm doing all right in life. My wife likes me. All right, cool. We're doing great. So I measured off my personal community, not social media.
Yeah, I gotta agree. You gotta measure yourself as to how people view you. If you have a good light about yourself, and people gravitate toward you, your family is okay, doing good, and your kids are respectable, and your wife, is tolerating you enough. And your family and your friends just gravitate towards you, and you just really have a good personality. Judge it by that, right? That's how I would judge myself.
Yeah, I think find out what your non-negotiables are in life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, if it's the well-being of your children, a healthy communication with your wife, making advances at work. Find out what those things are, and if you can honestly assess those elements and think, okay, I've done these things, then that's what should really matter the most. Like, again, I think taking it full circle, you can't look to social media for validation of life. It really does have to come down to those quiet moments when you see your kid playing with a toy that they didn't think was coming, but you listened and you took care and got for them. Like, those are the things that are going to make you really feel good about yourself in life, not whether or not 100 strangers you've never met in your life thought that your joke online was funny or something like that. Like, it will be those more quiet moments that will hopefully bring you the peace you need.
Right.
Wow. Okay. Well, I want to thank you guys for coming. I know that you can't speak for every man in the world, but I thank you for your input and advice, and hopefully somebody watches this and receives, exactly what they needed or an answer to a question that they've had for a while. So,
And I hope they
space,
follow
right?
their podcast. That's
I
cool.
was just going to say, now tell everybody, where can they find you all?
Yeah, so we're on Spotify, the
Yeah.
BMX podcast, BMEX, because EX for experience, the Black Male Experience, part of the Flip Podcast Network.
Okay.
And yeah, I think, you can always follow us there. You can hit us up on X at Flip Pods. We have another X handle.
Yes.
But we'll
Well,
get that later.
right. We'll get that to you.
BMX experience.
Yeah.
Okay.
It should be on most platforms, right?
Oh, yeah. You can probably find us on Apple,
Yeah.
Spotify, wherever you get your information. So
All right, well, you guys know where you can find these fellas, and as you can see, they can be unfiltered. So if you want the unfiltered version, definitely go to what's just been explained. But I want to thank you all for sitting with us on this episode of Mentally How Are You? Of course, it is my hope that you are leaving more stable than when you came in. I will see you guys next Friday. Bye.
No judgment, just love, so I can be me. I'm tired of hearing it's okay not to be okay. Just want the dark days to go away. Mentally, how are you? How are you? Yeah, I know it's hard, but you can get well if you want to. Mentally, how are you? Yeah, I know it's hard, but you can get well if you want